promoting ads that without disclosing that they're promoted. Um, and advertising to children is a thing that we've made, for TV. We put laws in that for a reason, and now mobile games are nothing but ads half the time. They're just a series of ads that you click through, and that's the whole game. That's like 90% of kids focused mobile games now. But again, the problem is capitalism. People don't want to make indie games, and people don't want to make freaking ads as games. Even the concept of advertising isn't inherently evil. The problem is when it's used to manipulate people. If you had an AI that was not owned by a corporation, but instead publicly owned by humanity, for the good of humanity, that knew you well, because again, it's going to be your, like, the reason I'm saying that it's so important is not only is it a great teacher and can help you learn stuff, but yeah, it can present stuff. That's what advertising is marketing is just putting stuff in front of you to see if you're interested in it. That's at least the good version of it. So an AI knowing about the universe and knowing about technology, or just knowing about everything, can be like, hey, you like this song, you'll like this artist, you like this painting, you should see the painter who made it, and their influences and this and that and blah blah blah. Where was I going? So the AI, the problem comes when it's about profit and not about it. So yeah, if everything was publicly owned, then we could do this much better, and even again, generative AI wouldn't be much of a problem, because it it's just another thing, like, people would get over it. Because if people were making art, like, okay, I was talking about the mobile games and stuff. Like, people want to make games. People who want to make games don't want to make games that are just timers and ads. Nobody, even the people that do make those, don't want to make them. The only reason they're made is because their company, who the shareholders and the CEO, who doesn't actually take part in any of the programming or anything, says it needs ads so that they can make money off of it, and like, a premium currency and this and that. It's all crap. Hopefully, though, I mean, AI being everywhere, hopefully will, it's a bubble and it will pop soon. I hope it doesn't cause a terrible crash for uh the, the whole of the proletariat, but I hope it doesn't cause a huge recession. But it would be nice that if it wasn't, constantly and everything. But AI is not going away, and I don't see any real. Again, the problem is capitalism. The problem is the profit motive. The problem is taking people's art without permission. Now, again, I don't think that copyright is good either. However, under capitalism, copyright is kind of important, because intellectual property, I mean, it's abused by Disney. It shouldn't be longer than the life of the person who made it, or something, or or a little bit longer in the estate. I don't know. It can be. Some people know better than me, but generally, the only reason that it's useful is because of. The only reason for intellectual property is because somebody could come up with an idea, and then a corporation could copy them, and the person who came up with the idea gets run out of business because they don't have the scale and ability to invest and work on it, and flood the market with that idea. Whereas the business can do that. So it's just like, I heard a story about, this company made a diaper delivery thing, and they were really good somehow. I don't know what made them better than just regular delivery, but anyway, so Amazon wanted to buy them, and they said, no, we're not going to sell to you, Amazon. So instead, Amazon just copied the idea and then sold it for super cheap until they went out of business, and then bought them anyway, for much cheaper than they would have if they had sold. So, it sounds like, I mean, even in its ideal form, copyright doesn't really help. However, you know, with media, you know, every intellectual property, every media property, like franchise or story idea, is in itself a miniature monopoly, because while the video game or the movie or whatever, I was going to say story, like the plot of the movie or video game or whatever, the gameplay can be patented and can also be, you know, endlessly recreated by just being copied. You know, the people who made it, once it's made, you know, they deserve credit. But again, credit is not the same as being, you know, compensated for your work, which again is much more important under capitalism than it would be under communism, where, you know, putting your name in the history books would be the equivalent of, you know, getting paid for your work, because after you would make it, it would be up to humanity for everybody, but you know, you would be rewarded for it. But again, but the thing is, nobody would be homeless, nobody would be wanting for anything, so people would just make stuff and make life easier and better. And I mean, you know, in it just, I'm very confused. I don't like I see what he's saying, but I feel like he just should just qualify that the problem is capitalism, not the AI. Even if he thinks that AI is the problem. But here's the thing. If he thinks that AI is the problem, I want to know what specifically he thinks the problem is. Because it seems like to him the problem is that there is an intrinsic, ineffable difference between humans and machines, which, I mean, right now, sure, and perhaps forever. But again, that doesn't mean that AI is bad. You know, there's an ineffable difference between humans and animals. That doesn't mean animals are bad. And so, yeah, the bad part comes from when capitalism comes in and the art is stolen and used for profit without rewarding the original creator. It just, and I just and if he agrees with that part, that's fine. Yeah, we agree. But I'm also curious what his feelings are on the ineffable difference. Like, why, just because it's different doesn't mean it's bad, you know? Like, I don't, again, without the profit motive, I don't see AI, even generative AI, being much of an issue. Well, let's see what he has to say. I've been talking for a long time, so let's see what he has to say.
They protested against manufacturers who used machines in a fraudulent or deceitful manner to replace the skilled labor of workers and drive down wages by producing inferior goods.
Yeah.
They opposed the use of that technology because it made a small group of people monstrously wealthy, forced artisans out of the field, and replaced what was previously a more robust textile industry with cheap slop. If any of this sounds familiar to you...
Again, even...
Yeah, they all got killed or sent to Australia.
So yeah, so even better. Yeah, so this is actually this is a great example. So yeah,
manned labor. You mean the cost?
The whatever the thing that the specific textile device that the Luddites were breaking. It even made shittier clothes than they did. It just made them really fast and cheap, and made the owners of the machine super duper uber wealthy, even more so than they already were. At the expense of those poor artisans. But, you know, I'm sure that machine is used today and has been refined. And again, without the capitalist problem, it would be even finding it and fixing it. First of all, okay, so I for those watching the gameplay, I'm on level 1 because I've been playing this. I don't really care about the levels. I'm caring more about the video. But I just can't find to the next level at this point. But I don't even find it. But I'm fine with just endlessly, you know, going until I die. Oh, the irony, I almost died. But yeah, that's why I'm just running around and not going to the next level, because I don't really care. But I would like to see the exit. I feel like I've been everywhere and I can't find it. Oh, there's some dots. Maybe that's where it is. I feel like I've been looking, though. I don't know. Anyway, back to what I've been saying. Yeah, the problem, again, isn't the machine. You know, the Luddites were, this is where it is, huh? Probably. Maybe. Maybe not. The Luddite... Ah, there it is. Okay, found it. The exit. Okay, so... But there's still stuff here, so... Not totally unjustified. So, anyway, so the Luddites... Totally, totally fine things to do. You know, totally justified in their actions. Because of their, you know, being left out to dry... while these machines that were technically inferior to their skills were making money for the owners. But just because these machines, even if they're technically inferior, you know, you can make a lot of clothes and clothe the unclothed, you know? You can make a lot of stuff for people, and then you have artisan stuff on top of that. When there's no profit motive, then you can just have people who like making clothes, and just guaranteed for people who don't feel like having, you know, super hyper refined clothes that are, you know, as long as they fit enough and they work, you know, and there's some variety to them. Like, there's nothing wrong with mass producing things. That's good, you know. Industrialization is good. The problem is capitalism. What, you know, what else can I say?
Saving machinery they were referring to? Like, all labor is manned by definition. I don't know what you mean. The cotton gin kept slavery profitable? Well, I mean, regardless of whether or not, like, slavery didn't exist because it was economically the best road for the South. Slavery existed because the people down there were racist, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if the South was smart, there were many ways they could have, like, developed their productive base outside of what they had.
More profitable,
you know, they wanted to preserve that. This is one of the actual failures of pure Marxian dialectics, of historical materialism, because it doesn't take an intersectional approach. This is the postmodern one.
Intersectionality is important.
There are other social forces outside the economic, right? Outside the class relation. Sometimes
the difference between
the
Republicans and the Democrats, while they're on the same class level, is, you know, the Republicans are actually evil, and the Democrats think that they're the good guys.
Chainsaw Man, do you think there's an AI devil? Well, considering the fact that Chainsaw Man takes place in the 1980s, probably not, no. 1990s? 1990s. The name Luddite occurs in the movement's writings as early as 1811. The movement utilized the eponym of Ned Ludd, an apocryphal apprentice who allegedly smashed two stocking frames in 1779 after being criticized and instructed to change his mind. The name often appears as Captain, General, or King Ludd. Man, they really went for it, huh?
King Ludd.
Different versions of the legends place his residence in Anstey near Leicester, or in Sherwood Forest like Robin Hood. That's cute. I didn't know that. Leicester?
Wow.
Oh, how am I supposed to know with British pronunciation? It varies depending on whether it's like Norse or Gaelic or whatever the fuck else. You know, it's all.
Sounds about right.
There are so many different pronunciations for stuff in your goddamn islands. Oh, come on, the U.S. is just as bad. I actually would say no. I actually think there's more pronunciation consistency across America than there is across the UK. The UK, there's so there's whole videos on this, you know? The most you get in America is like, no, stuff in California sounds Spanish. The Spanish in the US, though? No, Moody Mara, you can tell when it's Spanish. The Spanish is in a different language. Like, Los Angeles, like, is that difficult to pronounce? That's Spanish, but like, you just say Los Angeles. We're talking about pronunciation differences. Put on the Mapmen episode about it. Yeah. Worcestershire sauce? Worcestershire sauce? I don't even think we made that.
Worcestershire sauce is
not the British.
There's no way that's
Los Angeles?
American.
Yeah, nobody says that, Vermin.
Even
not
if
even
it's American,
the Mexicans that I grew up with. The
British
British government ultimately dispatched 12,000 troops to suppress Luddite activity. Did you think it was like one group of rioters? Who historian Eric Hobsbawm said was a hobbit-ass name, was a larger number than the army than the Duke of Wellington led during the Peninsular War. Lord Byron denounced what he considered to be the plight of the working class. The government's inane policies and ruthless repression in the House of Lords on the 27th of February 1812. I have been in some of the most oppressed provinces of Turkey, but never under the most despotic of infidel governments did I behold such squalid wretchedness as I have since my return in the very heart of a Christian country. Government officials sought to suppress the Luddite movement with a mass trial at York in January 1813, following the attack on Cartwright's mill at Rawfords near
between the owners
the government
and the
charged over 60 men, including Mellor and his companions, with various crimes in connection with Luddite activities. While some of those charged were actual Luddites, many had no connection to the movement. Although the proceedings were legitimate jury trials, many were abandoned due to lack of evidence, and 30 men were acquitted. These trials were certainly intended to act as show trials to deter other Luddites from continuing their activities. The harsh sentences of those found guilty, which included execution and penal transportation, quickly ended the movement. Parliament made machine breaking, i.e. industrial sabotage, a capital crime. Lord Byron opposed this legislation. What were the Luddites doing that would have led the British government to make it a capital crime? You know, like what relationship of power and capital must have been challenged here, you know, for them to respond in this fashion? 12,000 troops. And nowadays, we just use the term Luddite as an insult.
I mean,
it does say they pulled off an assassination. Assassination was already.
But that doesn't mean that the machines are bad.
No, they were principled for the most part. It was a pretty unruly group of people. But for the most part, no. The Luddites were against the capital class that were
they weren't against
that were accumulating enormous wealth and degrading the industry they worked in with labor-saving devices, i.e. the devices that they were using to save labor were really just another method of wealth extraction and were also making the industry worse.
But the
in 1956, during a British Parliament debate, a labor spokesman said the organized workers were by no means wedded to a Luddite philosophy. By 2006, the term neo-Luddism had emerged to describe opposition to many new forms of technology. According to a manifesto drawn up by the Second Luddite Congress in 1996, neo-Luddism is a leaderless movement of passive resistance to consumerism and the increasingly bizarre and frightening technologies of the computer age. The term Luddite fallacy is used by economists about the fear that technological unemployment inevitably generates structural unemployment and is consequentially macroeconomically
because
injurious.
Unemployment.
If that
only
fallacy,
a problem for capitalism.
If a technological innovation reduces
literally
necessary labor inputs
the goal
in a given
is
sector, then
zero
the industry-wide cost of
because
production
everybody
falls,
is doing
which lowers the competitive
whatever the hell
pricing
they want.
Increases the equilibrium supply point that
because
theoretically
robots
will require an increase in aggregate labor inputs. During the 20th century and the first decade of the 21st century, I like that. The first decade of the 21st century. The first, only the
cigarettes
first.
On the
dominant view among economists has been that belief in long-term technological unemployment was indeed a fallacy. More recently, there has been increased support for the view that the benefits of automation are not equally distributed. Well, I'm glad we finally came around to that one. You're telling me that technological developments don't innately lead to an increased standard of living? Thank you, economists. Finally come around. I guess eventually some truths become so obvious that even they can't ignore them. Unless you're some guy called Marx.
Organize the sum total of human knowledge so we can create even more stuff and learn even more things and expand that sum total of human knowledge.
I really hate when you guys ask me a question like this. It's not just you, another person did as well. What do you, not even then?
What question?
Yes, then. Obviously, the whole point of technology is to labor save. That's the
So, yeah, then, right?
Equitably, labor-saving automation would be an objective good for humanity. I really hate when you guys ask me a question like this.
So he's saying I hate when you ask the question because the answer is obvious, but it's not obvious, Josh.
Yes, then.
All you have to do is say,
obviously, the whole point of technology is to labor save. That's the literal point of all the things we do. But it can't be done, or at least shouldn't be done extensively in a lot of artistic fields. And there are limits to how much you can do this. For example, you want humans in the service industry because if you're interacting with a system, you want to interact with a human that represents that system. As I have bitched about many times on stream, there are very few tailors anymore, and not coincidentally, everyone looks like shit. And all of the most fashionable clothing styles that people walk around in these days are deliberately oversized, baggy, and informal. See streetwear, oversized hoodies, sweatpants that bunch around at your ankles.
I don't care.
Not that there's anything innately wrong with those things, but it means that the only surviving,
I will admit
is in a field that deliberately relies on a lack of tailoring.
Especially when you have an issue.
Which, I mean, again, it looks good. But what if you want to look good in outfits that are,
but I wouldn't have a problem
right?
with
well, tailors don't exist
entirely
anymore.
Automated.
Why is that? Because all the clothes that you wear, everything that you do in the textile industry, it's all done in Bangladesh, you know, by slaves.
Down. Ah, not what I wanted. Alright. So tailors. Again, you could even have robotic tailors. That would be fine. But you could, the thing is, here's the thing. Anything could be robots. You could still have humans doing it too. You could still have human tailors. You could even have human tailors using, you know, robotic machines. That's not a bad thing. The problem, again, is capitalism, because under capitalism, if you can have robotic tailors, you're not going to have human tailors, because once you buy the robotic tailor, you don't need to pay them anymore outside of maintenance. But yeah, like, again, the machine, especially not for a long time. So, again, I'm saying that I think that it's possible that machines could become self-aware, but let's assume they can't. Even better, there will always be a need for humans. But even if there isn't a need for humans, there is the human need to do things. So that we would do stuff. There could be human tailors. There's no more human tailors anymore because mass producing clothes. But again, the problem isn't the mass producing of the clothes. The problem is capitalism. At least he seems to say, like, but, like, that's the problem, Vosh. If you don't like talking about this, man, just, look, here's the problem, Vosh. If you don't like talking about this, man, just say the problem is capitalism. AI bad under capitalism. Generative AI bad under capitalism. And, you know, I don't personally like it in artwork at all. But even then, again, you know, there are Photoshop things which are fine, which you are also fine with. That's not what you're talking about. We understand that. But, like, even so, like, having an AI create a piece of, you know, a portrait doesn't mean that... well, okay, whatever. Sure, fine. Honestly, I don't care. We can figure it out later. The main thing is, yeah, we should stop it now, because it's really causing a lot of problems under capitalism. But then post-capitalism, we could probably figure something out. But you know what? We're not there yet, so we should probably focus on the here and now for now. So yeah, really, man, it would be a lot easier to just be like, yo, AI is getting to be a huge problem under capitalism. It's not inherently bad, but also I don't really like it in the arts. And that's okay. You can just say that. Be like, my personal opinion is it's bad. You know, just because you got good takes doesn't mean you're right all the time. I know it's part of his frickin' image, but, you know, whatever. So, he's gonna say that. But at least fucking be like, look, just say the problem is capitalism and, you know, AI created, images, I guess. No, well, I don't know. AI created art, quote unquote. Media, there we go. AI created media, because I was trying to think of a way to include music and stuff as well. And writing and things like that. So, yeah. And, you know, the future of humanity can solve that problem. First, let's fix capitalism. Then, you know, labor-saving technology is good. And then, but, you know, then there's an argument, like, is the ability to, what does scraping the internet and, well, I mean, you can use it for practice, I guess, you know. You know, give an AI an image, a prompt, there we go. Or, you know, it can create simple pictures for books, but then, you know, what's the point? You have your imagination. But, you know, just because you can use your imagination doesn't mean that, like, just because you should use your imagination when it comes to books doesn't mean there's anything wrong with somebody who doesn't want to, you know. And perhaps, you know, it might be bad for their mental health too, so it's important to keep an eye on that. But I think all that stuff could be pretty easily solved, you know, post-capitalism, because again, there's no there's no reason to use someone's addiction against them. There's no reason to use things against people. You don't benefit from pulling one over on people when there's no profit motive, when you don't own things privately. You know, somebody being addicted to something is a public problem. You know, addiction is not a personal issue. It affects the people around you, and I mean, right now it affects the economy pretty badly because, you know, if you become too much of an addict and you get homeless and stuff, then, you know, you're no longer participating in the economy. But, you know, even so, post-scarcity, it's still not good because people, you know, addiction is just a public hazard. It's a problem. It's not good, you know? And people should be able to get mental health help for that. And, you know, and temperance is important. But we're not going to be able to have a good temperance movement under capitalism outside of a religious thing. We're not going to have a secular, you know, a lot of these things can be solved with, you know, religion or whatever, because those are the only things that'll get people to do things that are hard when they could do something that's easy under capitalism. Outside of that, there's secular ways of doing it, but there's no reason to, you know, research and fund those secular ways of doing things under capitalism because it's not as profitable. It takes money and it doesn't make money. So why would we do that when it's much more profitable to, you know, bring out the worst in humanity? Screw capitalism, man.
No connection over here. Exactly, Vermin. There aren't a lot of horse buggies around anymore either. Yeah. Yeah, Thana, the only thing that AI can actually do is, like, reduce human interactivity and make worse versions of things that already exist.
Yeah, we don't need
AI
tailors
has so
to
far
have
succeeded only
nice
in reproducing more cheaply things that humans did better. AI articles, AI text, AI images. It reduces the human element, the creative element. AI news headlines, you know, it gets things wrong
again,
all the time.
The problem though is
no
capitalism.
Accountability, no understanding of the process, no expertise, no personality, nothing. Just death every time with the AI subject. I swear to God. Vosh, what about AI porn? What about this band? Annoying ass.
What if that person was joking?
Bubble
man?
nose. You got games on your phone ass. Stupid ass. Chatter. God.
Yeah, his name is Stupid Kid. He probably sounds like
literally called shitty ass kid. AI algorithms are used to speed up research, scan stars, and radio logs. Stubbs. When we say AI, we mean modern machine learning generative AI. The algorithms that are used to scan the stars, to my understanding, are just that, algorithms.
It's still AI.
Oh yeah, I saw this. The Pink Floyd Trust
and
or
that's
whatever
good.
money, the
you know,
and
the
I don't know, whatever organization gave $100,000 to the person who made this AI generated video.
Yeah, this is an issue.
It's just an AI generated video.
This is bad.
Look at that. You think the person who handed out the money didn't know? Like they don't know that this is AI?
If you didn't know what AI was,
you could probably
think this is trippy.
The generative AI used machine learning. It looks so bad. Yeah.
It does look
bad.
That
is algorithms. Okay, I'm just banning you. I don't care. If you don't know the difference between an algorithm and like modern machine learning generative AI, you have 30 days to figure it out. I can't deal with this, you people anymore. I can't. I genuinely like. I go to Mars. Go live as Elon's boot-licking slave. I don't give a shit. Off. Wait, machine learning is itself an algorithm, but did you know that the N-word is just the same as saying a bunch of different sounds in a row? So if you say,
but again, dude, it's
like you're already part of the way there. When does it become the
what do you algorithm?
Like,
just like
the
problem is not
Loki
language.
fallacy shit with me. The continuum fallacy.
I don't
me on
want that.
AI.
No.
You know what the difference is between generative AI, machine learning, and just
it.
any algorithm. Thank you. It's a subcategory. Algorithm. Yeah. It's an algorithm too. Everything's an algorithm. I take issue with the way that machine learning. Well, isn't the brain a machine? And doesn't the brain learn? off, man. Why?
Yeah, because the machines don't actually learn. They just take the data and
you have an orange name.
Which is not the same.
Was it gifted to you? Are you a pretender?
Not the same as
you all know how I feel about this subject.
Interpolation is not the same
My mind
as
isn't changing. I know I'll get a bunch of emails about this. You people suck.
Because all you gotta do, Vosh, is just say undercapitalism.
You are at best
AI bad,
neoliberals. No actual socialist could possibly misunderstand the threat that AI, generative AI, poses to human connectivity.
Yeah.
Why even be a socialist?
That's
if you
a
care
great
so little
point
about
too.
Humans
Human connectivity.
Like, why not just live in the pod,
bad.
eat the bug?
But
why not? Right?
Is
like,
getting
what's the whole
worse
point of
under,
this? You know,
from AI.
in a purely empirical, mathematical sense, the raw amount of resources you have access to today, the actual viable economic autonomy you possess as an individual, it's greater than it used to be. You know, even in this economy, on average, it's greater than it used to be. Just 10, 20 years ago. So why bother with socialism? Why are we even fighting for any of this then?
Because it's profitable to pull people
apart. If you're incapable of understanding this from like a qualia perspective, this is all like, well, did you know that generative AI can, well, I read an article one time saying that proteins, no, I'm not a doctor, and I'm just repeating this one piece of information that everyone has read from that one single article because the actual...
You know what that does? Those folding of proteins? That helps us understand biology. That helps us understand how, you know, drugs can be made and work, and meds, you know? That's a good thing. Like, that is great. You know, that doesn't justify AI art, as you're saying, but that's not something that should be dismissed. That's a great thing. My guy, dude, you just need to say under capitalism. AI bad, under capitalism. You know, I should say job killing AI bad under capitalism.
Specific use case of this is very narrow, and the idea that everyone in chat who brings it up is working in that field is ridiculous. We all read that one article, so like, yeah, you know, we might have social media sites pushing World War III-esque misinformation as headlines, and literally everything rapidly going wrong very quickly because the bourgeoisie are putting their faith in algorithms.
The reason we have World War III pushing things is capitalism, because Elon took Grok and replaced all journalists with it, replaced the human beings doing it, you know. Why did he do that? Because it's cheaper. If it wasn't, and made more money to do so, because he could keep even more of his insane billions and billions of profit dollars. My God. There would be no reason to do that outside of capitalism. It doesn't work. Maybe later on it could be, again, there are labor-saving things, you know, and eventually maybe articles could be mostly by AI. But again, yeah, you're right. The human element is a thing. Post-scarcity means that it wouldn't matter. You don't need, you could have the AI but not use them. Because we all have access to whatever we need anyway. So it doesn't really matter. You know, you would still have people who like doing journalism. They just would have the help of AI, you know, perhaps. Maybe they wouldn't even use it. But again, you know, like they probably would, because AI is such a broad term. You know, you type, like, you know, autocorrect of your spelling is AI, you know, a form of it anyway. So it's really, ugh. Yes, Vosh, obviously bad AI is bad. You know, bad outcomes are bad. Thanks, Vosh. You're so very articulate and helpful.
To like any kind of organized labor power. But you know, hey, did you know proteins? Why? Why do you all do this? Please.
I think people are getting standard machine learning, which can be very good and useful, and generative AI tangled up. Yeah, standard machine learning, which can be good and useful, generating. Yeah. Vosh wants to smash all computers. Nuance is dead. Yeah, really though. Machine learning is like a brick, and generative AI is the gas chamber built with those bricks. Does not mean all bricks are evil, but those ones are. But even generative AI isn't necessarily evil either. You know, it's just. I see why this is frustrating. It's frustrating me now. The problem is capitalism, the profit motive. Yes, exactly what he's saying. He's like all the capitalists are turning to AI instead of organized labor power. Yes, that's the problem. The problem that they're using it instead of humans, not alongside humans, or using, you know, they're not even that, I should say. They're using it for profit, for personal gain at others' expense, rather than for the purpose of human development on a macro scale. That's the problem. Not AI. The problem isn't atomic energy. It's the using the bomb to blow up people, you know? The problem isn't guns, you know, and hunting. It's war, you know? Like, the problem isn't the tool, it's what the tool is being used for, and at whose expense. If it's being used even just as a curiosity, who knows? There's no reason not to learn and study and develop technology, even if it doesn't seem to have a use yet. You know, like making synthetic diamonds. Like, why would you ever want to do that without profit? Oh, I mean, yeah, obviously profit, but then it just plummets the value of diamonds, but also good because blood diamonds bad. Even though synthetic diamonds exist, blood diamonds have made people think it's the same thing with AI. Like, oh, it's fake, it's not real. It's an appeal to nature fallacy. But you know what? Outside of putting jewelry, diamonds are really useful in making drills. Diamond tip drills are really strong. So having lab-grown diamonds that are the perfect shape and size and all over the place is great. We don't know, and there could be more values for having super hard, you know, being able to lab-grow diamonds. You know, like, we just don't know. The problem, though, is capitalism. When capitalism gets in the way, it gets in the way of everything.
What if AI made me a really nice carrot cake? It wouldn't. It wouldn't. I'll save you the effort now. It wouldn't. I think some limited generative AI. Do you think you can escape the Butlerian jihad by qualifying your statement? I am wielding a machete right now. I am painting my face with war paint. Do you think qualified statements will save you? What is wrong with you people?
But yes, the qualifying statement being capitalism bad, you know, like the qualified state being AI bad under capitalism. That is the qualifying statement that makes a difference.
You should be on your toes on this subject. Why is everyone racing to the field to be like,
because you're being unclear.
Or nuanced view? I think it's only 99% bad. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your contribution. I face the wall.
But I mean, you agree also, so it's kind of just odd that you're not pinning this down. You know, I guess you stream all day, you get a little lazy, you think that you're right about everything, and you know, generally you are right about most things, at least as close as most people are. You know, I don't blame them for being a little cocky, but, you know, the way you get right about things is by questioning everything and being skeptical, which is why it's good to be skeptical of AI. But that skepticism is ontologically evil somehow. But, like, you know, if that's the case, like, we'd find out after capitalism anyway, so it's like the only way we would find that out would be after capitalism, because capitalism is also ontologically evil itself. So, you know, there's going to be more AI under capitalism, unfortunately, probably, even though it will be pushed back and held back. But it's just like, we shouldn't hold back technological development because capitalism is bad. We should get rid of capitalism and then go full steam ahead as far as human development goes.
And to create.
Trained his own models means that he found other artists online and he stole a bunch of their art and fed it into. He probably found like Trippy trending on ArtStation, whatever.
He probably didn't even train
Volume
his
up,
own
please.
models.
But the music is playing over him because this guy doesn't know how to audio mix. Another indication of this guy's inability to do anything on his own is that there's poor audio mixing in his video where he's explaining his process behind making a $100,000 award-winning video or whatever. Seriously, listen how loud the audio is.
Images so I could get some fresh ideas from the AI. I used prompts. It was a lot of fun. And now I'm getting more into it. And
wow, thank you for showing us the process. You used prompts and it was fun. Man, that's so true. Wow, that's great. $100,000, haha, $100,000.
And I can agree with that.
Everybody, art. It's just like art.
But I don't think that AI is bad because of that.
Yep, that was his process. Winners behind the scenes video.
Capitalism definitely fucks
I did it, and I made it, and it happened.
I found out about the competition with a friend of mine. Thanks, Boris.
Now, I do agree that does kind of spit in the face of the concept of art. Yeah, no, I'm totally with that.
Pink Floyd's website to check the instructions.
And I don't think that AI art is art. Yeah, no, I agree. It completely is devoid of things. It's just images.
So I couldn't believe that such an amazing group of talented people were going to be looking at my work.
I like how this like fan project for the Pink Floyd band was like, oh yeah, my friend sent me a link. He's not even talking about how he's a fan of the band. Like,
yeah, literally.
I started.
It's the worst thing ever. I hope they get backlash for this.
Also, I have a strong connection.
Well, no, I hope they just change their mind. Honestly, I hope they give it to somebody who created something for real.
At home on vinyl back then, and
because
it wasn't
this is
music,
absolutely
it was something else
ridiculous.
about it. I remember staring at the cover album for The Dark Side of the Moon. And I love the rays of light passing through. I felt at the time.
Oh, nice. We get like an AI version. Wow, dude, AI can't even properly do splitting light through a prism. That's crazy. Do light prism, Pink Floyd album cover space. Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like when you split light through a prism. You know, you have like one Saturn ring in the middle and then another one on the other side that's a different color. Wow, that's crazy.
There's something else behind it.
And it just leads,
And obviously, as I grew older, I got to know it more, understood it more. So thanks so much for choosing my animation, and I hope you like it.
Fuck you. $100,000. Everyone's making fun of him in the comments. Nobody's happy with this. Disgusting, clearly not made by a human. Zero thought into it. Vosh, do we need to be exposed to this shit? Well, 99% of good politics is hating the right people. So as long as you really, really, really hate this guy, yeah, I would say this is like a pretty instructive, you know, thanks, Protein Enjoy. AI art should be banned from the majority of art. It shouldn't be banned from the majority. It should be banned from all art competitions. My guess is that the people judging this didn't really understand what AI art was. Unfortunately, a lot of the legitimacy that AI art gets has nothing to do. Like, the people who judge this probably thought this was just like a crazy, trippy video that somebody like hand painted or whatever, or they used like blending frames in a photo to like hand construct it.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, like, this technology is relatively new. Making videos that look like this is relatively new. So the people who like judge this probably didn't realize it was AI. Now, maybe a bunch of people have told them that, but what are they going to do? Change the results? I wish they would, but I can understand if they wouldn't. You know, they don't want to come across with it. They probably already made the promise like for 100,000, so they can't really, you know, like,
they already paid him.
Like as much as I think they should, I can understand that there might be reasons why they kind of can't. They could just rob the guy. Can anyone link the cool video? Oh yeah, link the cool video, guys. Yeah, I could see that being an issue here. These people are pretty, you know, except for her, maybe these two, I guess, they're pretty old. I can understand. Okay, I'm going to be charitable here, and I'm going to say that I actually feel bad for these guys. I'm going to choose to take the charitable perspective and say, I bet these guys are really passionate about music and about Pink Floyd, and they just don't really follow the crazy new internet tech on making fake art. So they see that video and they think, wow, this would have been like thousands of hours of carefully blending together paintings and images. This is like an amazing image collage, you know?
Yeah.
Keep in mind, those are music people. Those guys aren't artists, right? Like, they're judging from the perspective of people who are around Pink Floyd. They're not all, like, painters. An artist, somebody who'd spent their whole time doing visual art, like, they might be able to identify very easily that something is wrong with this. Music is art. You know what I mean. Visual artist. Shut up. You know what I mean.
How do I...
Anyway, you know, and I'm going to be charitable, and I'm going to say that, like, they thought this was like an amazing work.
Yeah.
You know, wow.
It's ironic,
oh man, the effort it must have taken to do that. All the different images they would have had to blend, and then they award the 100K, and then someone texts them 6 seconds later, like, hey, yo, what's up, AI art? Yo, what's up? Hey, what's up? And then like it all fell apart from there. You know, that's my charitable take.
Which is why the
Did you see the controversy with one of the winners of this year's Golden Demon, where the background was AI generated? This was the model. But isn't the contest about the figure, not about the background to present it against? Golden Demon controversy where the winner had a model with an AI.
That's another thing. What are you really good at drawing?
I agree that's shitty. I guess my thinking here would be this person's talent is the model painting, so maybe they thought, like, I want a cool background for the image submission, but I literally can't paint and I don't want to steal art, so I'll just generate it. Not to defend it. I'm just saying I don't think this is anything like what we just saw. Like, I would mentally, I would categorize.
Yeah, bro. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so he does understand. That's all I'm saying is, bro, all you gotta do to get people to understand you is just say the problem is capitalism. And and just, you know, the idea that, and just AI being used to do everything is how you ruin, like, it's not artistic, because it's not, you know, AI has no ability to, you know, intend things. It just does what you say, and it's a tool like anything else. But the problem is capitalism, not the tool.
Is this differently, I guess, but that's just the base is part of the model. Yeah, but that's not the base. Oh, wait. Oh. Uh-oh. That's not just the background. That's the base, too. Unless this is like a crazy 3D painting job. Oh, yeah, a DQ. Like, obviously. Yeah, DQ. This should be revoked, because in this case, like, this isn't even a base. They're probably on a standard, like, black or white painted base that got, like, edited out or whatever. No, the ground is real? Wait, what?
I'm so confused as to what's happening. Oh, no. Oh, no. What's going on?
This case, like, this isn't even a base. They're probably on a standard black or white painted base that got, like, edited out or whatever. No, the ground is real? Wait, what? Then at what point does the ground become the AI? Here? Here? This is all sculpted? Then this looks amazing. Look at the little fish. Interesting, by the way. The fish are in resin. That's cool. And more positive look at the Slayer Sword Winner. Shit was insane. God damn. Oh, shit, dude. Look.